Meteor shower. I can see the sky, scattered all over the place like fine needles of a pure, intense, blue ice. Today has been so gloomy, so pointless, as usual. The same sequence has been repeated today, a moving picture projected on the urban skyline, just before my window panes. It was as yesterday, as the day before yesterday, as the day before yesterday, as usual. The window is mine, attached to my housing cubicle. An 8-lane speedway is in front of it, and I can see how the cars travel through it to get wherever they want. It's the rush hour, baby. The sky has pungent colors of lemon juice, citron, and smoke and more smoke. I'm almost able to breathe it, feeling pleased, so dastardly pleased. I feel like God, contemplating my own creation and telling myself that it was good when I know that is just a shameless lie. From here, I can see the city of iridescent lights. The speedway is a riverbed of sparkles, snakes, and earthworms crammed with colors and sparks. Whale-sized, concrete jaws open wide before my window, swallowing a river of sperm in a flux of blue semen. Phosphorescent sperm, illuminating us as long as the night shows up. There's a desert I like to smell. It's like frappe ice or pulverized fecal matter or pisses cleaned with chlorine. A cloud of smoke emerges from the air conditioner nightmare and the care bugbears, itching my nostrils, gristle, and my olfactory, mucous membrane. I hear the whirring of machines working on commuting drivers. The streamlined cars advance like an ant's pageant. The highways are rivers of blood and steel. They're the main arteries that conduct the blood corpuscles like a marching mob. Their headlights illuminate such a landscape crammed with electrified buildings and dappled with neon colors. We build our city of dreams with acrylic polymers, mortar, and iconoclastus. We decked them with synthetic nihilistin and muffled them with anachimeris. I fall asleep gradually, using lemon and having the sky in my eyes. Midnight is when the day begins. The cathedrals collapse to the rhythm of modernity's song. The world is made of dreams, null is my work, and that's why I hate it so much. Sweet and sour soy/lemon sweetens what's left of your life. You no longer want to keep soy smoking or rest. Now that you have gone to the other side and become mortal, you have lost everything. So then, all that's left to do would be watching the march of chaos until all our squandered chances get extinguished. The Harrier fighters hunt us over from afar. Every day, we can't see the density of their blinding lights, so we choose to dose them with the global mass mollifier. Our photoreceptor specs point out a menu of options to choose from, and we pick them out without saying a single word. Our artificial intelligence software searches the most effective routes for us. Just like a series of scents diluted in water guide adult salmon to return to the riverbeds where they were born years ago. The streets are veins of transparent color. The city's organs stand out in the dark, illuminating the highest towers. It's the spectacle of everyday life. All day long, mercury has been falling from the sky, draining through clefts, windows, and ledges. It's falling mercury at dusk like an unceasing fire, with blood and juices from the same clouds. It's falling fire all over the world. It's falling the night in the city. Spreading its fragrance of charred oil through the air, I can see how it's being dissolved in the atmosphere, also allowing the thinning of the ozone layer. The air conditioner nightmare trickles icy water. I can smell it yards away. Its fresh smell stands out amidst so much polyester dust. It smells like plastic everywhere, which dries my nose. There's a river of light soaring at nightfall. It's a river of gemstone-like serpents endowed with twinkling neon hues, seeping inside a toothless mouth. Only this infinite palate, equipped with cement arcs, can swallow it all. It isn't a fruitful uterus, nevertheless, the sperm fecundates its crystal eggs. More than a fruitful uterus, it's more like a gastrointestinal tract, swilling massive palladio and evacuating it through the back door of its anus. It's some kind of electric blood being spilled on the horizon, burning our eyesight. The peripheral grid is made from arteries of mud and semen, bone and flesh, and blood. Lots of blood. Metallic, crystal and plastic shells protect our throbbing entrails, though we're also filled with felt, leather, and velvet. We're sliding on roads with our rubber wheels, leaving behind tire marks. There are structures of steel centaurs fringing the highways. Their wings hold the power of wind within their razor blade feathers, tearing the atmosphere apart. We live in a city of beehive apartments but populated by wingless dwellers. It smells like a hurricane's blood being shed and falling on the ledges of buildings. Our essential architecture is based on lozenges, pyramids, squares, and trapezoids, but above all, the omnipresent hexagon. Heavy armed helicopters patrol the chaos. They're dragonflies equipped with night vision goggles and far-ranging weapons. Their heavy metal weaponry could cause 60 casualties per second, 600 per minute, 36,000 per hour if every single one hits the bullseye. I remember having gone into the city, looking for you and finding you, just to lose you again. That's something I think over quite often, but I get so fed up after remembering it too many times. I remember having gone into the city, looking for you and finding you, just to lose you again, and this time it was forevermore. Nevertheless, I must tolerate this lack and dosage it. This is because I lost my dose of you so suddenly that for me it is impossible to withstand such a cold turkey. All of this because of your absence, your idyllic, blessed absence, my beloved Edith. I miss you so much, my darling angel, my faraway gone girl. Yes, you, my hermeneutic penguin. Idyllica Edith, you build invisible skyscrapers in the wasted lands of my barren soul. Poisonous centipede, you haven't given me other choices but to let you go. That's why I get lost in the white subway train out of sheer whim. There's a small ant squashed in the pavement underneath my window. It fell from the 16th floor in the building where it lived, which happens also to be mine. The sidewalk splatted its tiny skull, and its brains got scattered like a spattering. The paramedics came as soon as possible, but still, it was no use. However, the human ant survived for brief seconds before expiring. It didn't matter if it had its brain matter exposed and scattered and, regardless of everything, it could cuss some insults against its fellow ants and chide them. Even though, despite all, its death was imminent. The only thing we could do was pick up its mortal remains and put them in a plastic bag. The cement curdled quite recently, whenever it breaks its sharp edge. If you take a bit, you could sever a hand or a leg, easily hitting them with it. I don't know, the ant was good-natured and sympathetic. I don't understand its craving for dying. Maybe it was already dead before even leaping. I mean, in the soul, only in the soul. Even so, this sad fact of life turns out to be a true enigma. Why did you jump, littlest ant? Why did you put an end to your sorry-ass life? Little ant, littlest ant, why were you so worthless? Most of all, when I look at you, littlest ant, from here, from high above in this building. I said, ant, well, that's what it seems from here, from the 27th floor of the world I know. The collective souls gather around a corpse, staring at its spilled entrails, which splatted into 1,000 pieces. A broken ant crushed, crunched cracked littlest child. It begins to rain, the blood gets diluted, coming off the concrete and seeping into the gutters. The rain falls harder, and people go home. The show is over. My apartment's window gets tarnished as it's getting dark. The building in front of mine is turning on its lights, looking like spotlights from here. No matter how hard I try to look above me, craning my neck upward, I can't see where they're going. I know well it isn't limitless, nothing is. Everything is in perspective, relative to my small, insignificant dimensions. I could be a giant or a dwarf, everything would be only inside my head. My height is nothing. It's how I imagine myself compared with everybody else. It's my insignificance of a human ant, placed on top of a tree. I could use a telescope to watch what's happening down there better, but I don't feel like it. In fact, looking at everything from here, it only seems like a dream. I don't really care, I don't care at all. I don't want to get involved in any of this shit since, from here, from afar, it's so much safer, more hygienic, and clean. I don't need telescopes, microscopes, thermostats, hygrometers, encephalograms, pacemakers, computer diagrams, nothing. I don't feel like seeing a three-dimensional diagram of my brain working, showing me how I think from deep inside. I don't want to see how tumors are thriving in my medulla oblongata. I don't want to see my insides, how my colon evacuates feces. I don't care at all. I don't need to know nasty things like the levels of my blood glucose and the speed at which I consume it, my levels of insulin or ascorbic acid, or how fast I can accumulate uric acid in my ankles. There's so much reality in this sorry-ass world. If I wanted to see my colon or brain, I'd use a chainsaw. Hyperreality. All these actions imply merely seeing within my head how I think, but not worrying about my actual well-being. Well, I guess I'm just venting those cankerous feelings. If I wanted to see an anus, I'd rather see mine reflected in a toilet bowl than see a female porn star being sodomized. The working of sphincters doesn't excite me that much. In the S, I like it in the S. She said so. Anal Annie, the beloved Anna Anal. The anus of Anna, the charming Anna, and her magical sphincters, sexual shit odor. I want it in the ass, she wants it in the ass, only in the ass. He wants it in the ass, his brain is an ass, his head is an inverted ass, and he talks and emits flatulence from his brains. The whole universe is an anus I can fuck, which I can fornicate, filled with despair. I like to see your anus bleed or your blood-stained shit and my semen seeping from your sweet buttocks. I see shit marching through the whirlpool of a toilet. It's not funny to see the chicken I ate yesterday turned into something else. I can only imagine my own flesh turned into this, into shit, if some animal happened to eat me. It's so shocking to imagine myself as something dead. Like that nasty, little ant smeared under my window pane. My windows are teeming with blood-stained ants. My blood is a shit color. I don't know why, but I get so excited whenever I talk about frivolous things, yep, things like human life. I'd like to see the show of human existence reflected in the face of a bacterium. There's an amoeba emerging from the night, growing and expanding limitlessly in search of spaces where it can exist freely. Its mighty pseudopodia stretch throughout the night. Its protoplasm poses the shining of 1,000 stars. It's a monster, the demon of the apocalypse, Idyllica City, and Mexico City. The city shines in its translucent tegument, a tegument made from a crystal with 100,000 windows. There are high buildings with rugged ledges, sharp-edged antennas pointing their rays to the skies, bridges joining streets skyward, and at different levels. The city emerges from the ground to the empyrean, our garbage aspires to be supreme. I get tired of looking at stuff. I'd better watch TV. Oh, goody. It's the last, but the very last nightly show, The Adventures of Little Hori on her journey to the diaphragm. The last one will be the fictitious drive of cheapo, pulpicellulose. I'm going to forget about the world reading cheapo literature or fictitious pulp fictions, fictions pulp fictions fictas, fictions pulpitizants, pulpotis actions fictionated. John Travolta dances over a checkered, lit floor. Lights turn on and off in the disco, and a well-mannered Uma Thurman, endowed with the sensuality of June Edith Miller, dances the boogie-woogie twist with him. Meanwhile, Marilyn Monroe, announced by Ed Sullivan, raises her underskirt during the 7-year itch, but without letting us see the petals of her quasi-virginal cunt, or rosebud. Sharon Stone is in Basic Instinct, with her tight-fitting dress and blonde beaver, waving goodbye to us. She has it well hidden under her petticoat. Let's talk dirty, yeah, right, talk dirty. Click. Onomatopoeia. Turn off the TV set, and take out the Star Wars Darth Vader's Star Destroyer playset. It's time to go to bed. Patricia Trismegistus Patty. Where are you now? I wonder. In dreams, my flesh rots over my bones as I invoke your hallowed name during the night. I live immersed in this dark dance, in this silly ritual. The public lighting illuminates us during nightfall as we walk, hand in hand, along the streets. I was going to love you forevermore, but now I have to kill you, too. The city burns outside, and I'm trapped in this dinginess. I'm so alone without your blessed love, my virtuous, virginal girl. You're made from raw flesh and fictitious sweetness. I wish I drank your milk, ate your flesh, got sweetened with your honey, and anointed myself with your hallowed oil as you felt my hard flesh for the very first time. And, among our bodily fluids, you can deliver all your forsaken dignity and love to me. The city is outside, and I'm trapped inside here, freezing in my own fishbowl, because I don't live in a penthouse. I live among riffraff. I only think about death and James Joyce's novels. There is no misery, reality is intrinsically miserable. Only in dreams, I get true happiness, justice, equity, freedom, infinite freedom to express my stupid thoughts. I repeat my words too many times. They're trite and lose all their sense, becoming meaningless. Their semantic content is nullified under the spell of so many deformed syntagmas, gnarled, and crisscrossed phonemes, sophistic oratory. I don't want to live on abstraction anymore. Featherless pipped animals, you cast out your words unceasingly, like pulpous, juicy dough. I can see raindrops, trickling through the surface of my window. I can see the night agonizing as the red lights of vehicles, sifted by raindrops, glow like tiny suns. They tauten in silence. I wish I had a steel steed and an aluminum skeleton, eloping swiftly into infinity. I want to abscond where the streets have no name. Capitalist suburban culture, global mass, global new world order, new order. I wish I were a blade to cut the flesh of pigs in slaughterhouses. I wish I could bathe in pig's blood. They're animals, half rat, half dog, half man, according to the Prophet Muhammad. I wish I drank blood. I wish I ran over pigs and lambs with a steel charger. I wish I performed vivisections. I wish I watched their duodenum displacing cut and their hearts hemorrhaging in horrid squirts. I wish I could kill people. I wish I could kill you. I wish Edith had talked with me more often than she did. I'm tired of strumpets in the streets and my bed. I'm tired of silenced heroes, of silencing my own death, shushing your hallowed name. I look at the death of an ant and listen to the song of a poet. I see your placenta bursting over my window. How much I wish you were here.